Hey everyone, how are you doing this evening? I'm back with some more news. I promise that I'm not just planning on only doing news. It's just a bunch of blasters keep coming out and I am working on some things, but they're a bit bigger, they're taking a bit longer. One of the things I'm working on, I managed to get a thrifted Titan AS-6? Anyway, a Titan rocket launcher. What does that look like? Well, I have mine apart, but if I hold up the parts, it looks like this. I don't have any rockets, but if I get this thing all sealed up and working again, it has an air leak, I'm going to make some rockets. And Silly Butts, I believe on YouTube, he has created a new barrel for this that can actually swap out for the original. This barrel actually screws in and out, so I can make this fire Mega XL or other things, or the homemade rockets that I'm going to make, which I'm actually kind of looking forward to making. I'm crafty like that. Okay, with that bit out of the way of what I'm going to be up to, let's talk about these new blasters that have surfaced. I guess we'll talk about the Moto Blitz first. Ta-da! The Moto Blitz looks kind of interesting. It's basically a Rayven with a shotgun master key underneath of it. By all reports, it looks like the master key part of it, air will be pumped into a reservoir, you'll hit a button on the side, and it'll launch all 6 darts at once. People have said that's a lot like a mediator barrel attachment that there is out there, but I think there is something else that it's even closer to, actually, as a 6 barrel press a button on the side to launch everything. And that's this Nerf Hornet AS-6 that's actually connects onto that Titan I just was showing. So kind of a coincidence there. So the way this blaster works is you would pump it up, fill up an air reservoir, and then you can pull the trigger to fire one at a time, or you can actually slap this button on the side and press them all at once. I'll do a bit of a sample. Ooh. Old blasters, labor of love. Let's try this. You get the idea. I think I do have a little bit of an air leak. I mean, this thing is from 2004. It's almost 20 years old. Definitely a project blaster. So doing this, squeezing the trigger would shoot one at a time, or slapping this button on the side, theoretically shoots all 6 at once. So very, very similar. So if you took this Rayven, combined it with this, you'd have a pretty similar thing to what the Moto Blitz is promising. The problem with the Rayven bullpup design is you have the magazine way in the back. And what that means is when your dart is being pushed into the flywheels, your flywheels are back here. So that means there's a lot of barrel tubing for that dart to fly through, and that can drag on this tight inner diameter of the barrel and potentially slow it down. That always affected the performance of the Rayven. Now, you can get around that by modding it to be much higher performance, like this one is. I think that was dart dust coming out of there from these cheap darts. I think it's neat that Nerf is designing an already done integration. I really like integrations, although I will say I like when people in the community do integrations and then blend them all into one blaster. This one is kind of purposefully left to look like it's one blaster glued onto another one, which I don't know if I'm as big a fan of the way they've done it. Because it's all solvent welded together, it's going to be hard to actually do any mods to that if you wanted to try to. And hopefully you'll be able to get in a part of it, or you might get mid 60 FPS from a bullpup Rayven if it is the same power as something like a Strife. So it definitely depends on, maybe they'll give it a little bit of a boost to account for that, but I doubt it. I'm guessing we're going to look at 4 AA batteries. Could be neat. I wanted to show what I think is a pretty fair comparison to what they're offering, and that's something like this. Big button on the side, 6 shots at once. This has the option for 1 shot at a time. The Moto Blitz doesn't. I think it's all or nothing. It's one last desperation act shotgun blast. And then a bullpup design. Now let's talk about that Ultra Strike. I'm not sure with all of the flywheel stuff coming out and has come out for Ultra, what this is doing new, if anything. It is using and coming with all of the Accu Strike darts, which really fix a lot of the fatal sins of Ultra, which were these darts, which were terribly inaccurate. These are actually pretty good. So blasters just coming with those. That's great. It is a flywheel blaster. It's hard to tell from the box, at least I can't tell. And sometimes when I do this stuff, I do like to read some things, but I don't like to go through and read every other creator's information. I kind of like to just take the original thing and do my own speculations, whether that's wise or unwise. I don't want to regurgitate what other people are saying. So anyway, in my opinion, when I think of the Ultra Select and I look at the Ultra Select and then I look at this new Ultra Blaster, the Ultra Strike, you know, it has a longer barrel, doesn't fire super fast. Maybe the Ultra Strike will be a combination of the new Ultra Speed coming out and this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what its niche is, because we have this, which is already that longer rifle kind of look. The performance isn't amazing. I was overall disappointed in the Ultra Select, but it's hard not to compare this to the Ultra Strike. I don't know. I mean, it looks fine, but it doesn't look very unique. I don't know what its unique offering is. What do you think of the Ultra Strike? It doesn't look like it has a whole lot of unique gimmicks. We'll just have to wait and see what the specs are. I would hope that it would have an improved fire rate on this one if it is full auto. A lot of barrel on the Ultra Strike. I mean, arguably it looks kind of cool, but I'm not a fan of longer and longer barrels unless they're super wide. That is one thing that this one did really well, is this is one wide barrel. You're not going to get much drag out of this, even with the darts coming from, you know, kind of that midway point in the blaster. So points to them for this one. I think this is actually an amazing looking shell. I just wish the fire rate was better. And even with the Accu Strike darts, it's not super accurate when I compare it to firing things out of almost anything else. But looks cool. That flip up sight looks kind of neat. The red, I think, clear magazine, that looks kind of cool. I don't know that I'm a big fan of the barrel. The grip underneath has a rail coming out of the grip. That looks a little bit weird. And it looks like there's a sling point where the barrel meets the body. I don't know. I don't know what I think of it. Some people I think are going to like it a lot. I'm on the fence. The listings from kidtoy.ca put the price at about 65 Canadian for both. So not sure if those are placeholders or real. I guess we'll find out when we see these blasters sometime this year. These are my thoughts on these two blasters. If I had to pick one to be the most excited about, it would probably be the Rayven Hornet masterkey combo system. I think that could end up being really interesting. So let me know in the comments what you think, what you're most excited about. And do you disagree with me? Do you think the Moto Blitz looks really cool? I'm not a big fan of the look of it. And I feel like the universe is conspiring to make me break my promise to not review or care about Elite 2.0. But I don't know. I don't know if I would buy a Moto Blitz. I don't know. Because I don't want to use a flywheeler like that stock, generally, from Nerf. And I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I'm on the fence. I'm really not that interested in any of the Elite 2.0 stuff. I'm sorry. It's hard. Everyone else is way more excited about the Moto Blitz than I am. Although I can definitely say hats off for doing something kind of different. It's based on two very classic blasters. See you at the next video. And hopefully that one I will actually have made something. Or we'll be reviewing something. Or we'll be doing a bit more. I do it again. Till next time.